Okay, so today I'm going to show you some ghosts. And ghosts are, lots of people love ghosts. Lots of people like all sorts of different things. That's the beauty of keeping different snakes. You get so much variety, so many different colors. This here is Naomi, and she's a keeper that I'm going to grow and use as a breeder later. She also doesn't like to stop. But that's so you can see as ghosts get older, they turn kind of a more creamy color. And when they're babies like this, Naomi looked white when she was a baby. She was a gorgeous baby. She's still beautiful, but we always kind of wish our snakes could look the way they did when they were born sometimes. But the boas do, I find, get a lot prettier as they get older, whereas ball pythons kind of fade out. With boas, they change a lot, but it can be for the better. It's hard to see you in this little thing that I have, so I'm sorry. It looks like I'm pestering my animals. I'm just trying to keep them in frame. Okay, so Naomi, there you go. You got your little, let me see the focus. Okay, let's see your face. Show her your face. You see the face? Got a beautiful little head on her. Nice little pattern. Bright tail. She's a little chunky right now. She just had a nice little bird. And there you go. So here's another ghost for you. We showed you hypos and we showed you aneries, and this is what happens when you combine a hypo with an anery. You get something called a ghost. So this is technically a hypoanery, and a nickname for it
What are
is
you waiting
ghost.
for? Do it! Just do it! Yes, you can! Just do it!
What's nice about the ghosts is when they're light, well, like you saw, the other one is not as bright as this one, but this one is also a lot younger. So as this one gets older, it will change to be more creamy like the other one. But when you do see the white in them, it's really clean. It's a really beautiful white. It's not like the albinos, where the albinos are light, but they have that yellow tone. The nice thing with these is they have kind of like an ash. They have a more like beige. It's not yellow. It's like creamy beige and just something kind of a little bit different. Let me get the next one. And for these, I do have males and females available. I sell these for $400 Canadian. And once again, can ship all across Canada pretty reasonably. If you're outside of Canada, it's a little bit more expensive, but you can always let me know where you are and I can get a price for you, no problem. These are all eating well. They're a couple months old. I don't ever really push my babies. I feed them. When they're starting off, I try about once a week, but then I get them eating every 2 weeks. And that just, to me, keeps them good, makes sure that they're eating on a schedule. It is nice to try and feed them every week, and when you have one, you could do that, a really smaller meal. But what I find is when I feed them every 2 weeks, they're almost always guaranteed to eat. They're a little bit more hungry and bam, they take their food, so I don't have to mess around with it. But if you feed your babies every week and you have like 100 of them, you end up wasting a lot of food because lots of them won't eat every week. So I find when I stick to every 2 weeks, they eat better, they go through the same process, they just take a little bit longer to grow, and there's nothing wrong with that. You never want to starve your animal. To underfeed them is probably just as bad as overfeeding them. When you overfeed them, that's no better. So it's nice to kind of just look at their body tone, and if I do see one's getting maybe a little bit skinnier, I will drop its food intake a bit, and if it's I'll up its food intake if it's looking a little too skinny, and if it's looking a little chunky, I'll just give it a week off. And here's the last one. I think this is the brightest of all of them, and it's a boy. Woo. Nice thing making these videos when they're small is they fit on the table nice. When they get bigger, it's hard to get them to stay still, so everything I do has to be kind of like me holding them. So once again, the anery gene is a recessive gene. So if this is bred to anything, it'll be carrying the anery gene. It'll visually express itself if it's put to another anery. And then another thing that's very neat is because the hypo gene creates red, more red, and it also kind of cleans up a pattern, the anery gets rid of the red. So you end up with no red, and as you see on these, there's kind of like these bow tie marks. So that's kind of how you can tell whether your anery is a ghost. Because there's some really bright aneries also, but once you know the look, it becomes a lot easier because the ghosts they're a lot brighter, they're a lot cleaner, and the hypos have a specific kind of tail look that they have. And it's another way that you can kind of tell the difference between the normals, the aneries, and the hypos. Because you see that there's no red, so you see that it looks like a hypo, and then you know it's a hypo in there, and then it's gray, so we got anery, so there's our ghosts.